Hey guys, it's Thomas here, and if you want to know the not-so-secret way that millionaires get rich, then you're going to want to watch this video all the way to the end. According to a study of 10,000 millionaires by Ramsey Solutions, they found that 8 out of 10 millionaires invest through a 401k plan. That's 80% of millionaires who use a 401k as part of their wealth building strategy. So if you're not, it's time to get started. And if you already are, here's some important information to know so that you are maximizing your returns, set up for an outrageous retirement. If you don't understand these 401k basics, you could be leaving money on the table and unknowingly losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement savings. The sooner you make these changes, the stronger your retirement portfolio is going to be. According to the US Census Bureau, only 32% of Americans are using a 401k plan, even though it's one of the best options available for your retirement savings. But even if you are putting enough money into a 401k account every month, it's also important to know where that money is going to be invested within the 401k. Remember, a 401k is not an investment itself. It's a tax-protected account that protects you from having to pay taxes on the money that's invested within the 401k. And that's a big part of what this video is going to cover. So remember, continue to watch all the way to the end so you don't miss out on any of that valuable information about your investments within the 401k. And don't forget to smash that like button. So let's start with, again, why would you even want to be investing money into a 401k plan in the first place? Well, the main reason is tax protection. It's going to reduce how much money you pay in taxes. There's more than one way that you can benefit from the tax advantage of a 401k plan, and that depends on what type of plan you have. But seriously, have you met anybody who would rather pay more in taxes than they have to? Well, if you're not utilizing the 401k, then you might be doing just that. So stop it. The two main types of 401ks are traditional 401k or a Roth 401k. So what's the difference between those? Well, primarily a traditional 401k is going to give you a tax advantage today. You're not going to have to pay taxes on the money you put into the account this year. While a Roth 401k, you still pay taxes on the money you earned this year, but then that money grows tax-free, and when you retire, you don't have to pay taxes on any of the money in the account in your retirement. So especially for younger people, if your company offers a Roth 401k, I would definitely recommend checking that out. According to an article by CNBC from 2018, 7 out of 10 companies are offering Roth 401ks, but if they don't, you can still benefit from the traditional 401k plan and benefit from the tax savings today by deferring those taxes to your retirement. The money you contribute to the 401k will be taken directly out of your paycheck before you pay taxes, before it hits your checking account, and that way you don't have to pay taxes on any of it, and you won't have to worry about missing it because it was direct deposited straight into that 401k and you never even missed it. Now, the contributions to the Roth 401k also will be direct deposited straight into your retirement account, but that money comes out of your paycheck after taxes were accounted for. So that's why it's called post-tax dollars. Post-tax dollars contributed into a Roth 401k have already been taxed, and then they grow, and so all the growth that you get throughout the entire time between today and when you retire, all of that growth grows tax-free, and you don't have to pay taxes on it later. So that's the difference. Either defer the taxes by not paying them now in a traditional 401k, or you pay the taxes now, but then that money grows completely tax-free forever. So as an example, and with simple numbers, let's just assume that you contributed a total of $100,000 over the course of your life into a retirement account. And let's just say, again, for easy numbers, that account grew to $1 million over the course of that retirement growth period. So if you would put that $100,000 over time into a traditional 401k, then you would not have owed any taxes on that $100,000 that you contributed. However, when you retire, you're now going to have to pay taxes on the full $1 million in retirement that as you use it throughout your retirement years. Conversely, if you take that same $100,000 over your working years and you put it into a Roth 401k, then you already paid taxes on the $100,000, but now that it grew to $1 million, you don't owe any taxes on the $900,000 that's the growth in that account. So that's the difference. You either avoid the taxes on a small amount now, but you pay taxes on a much larger amount later, or you can pay the taxes on a small amount now, but you don't have to pay any taxes on the larger amount later. And the younger you are and in the lower tax bracket to begin with, you're paying less in taxes on that smaller amount. And if you're younger, then you might have 20, 30, 40 years of growth that you're not going to have to pay any taxes on. So the Roth 401k definitely benefits younger people, especially people in lower tax brackets. Now, disclaimer, this is not investing advice. This is simply education on how 401ks work and personal finance information, and it's for entertainment purposes. However, this is a strategy that I use and that many people use, but do your own research in order to determine if this makes sense for your financial situation. Now, in addition to simply benefiting from tax-deferred or tax-free growth, you also want to contribute to a 401k because of what's called a company match. Most companies these days offer a company match if they offer a 401k program. So what is a company match? No, I'm not talking about tennis. I'm talking about the fact that if you contribute money to your own retirement, the company is going to give you free money that matches what you gave. So once again, I don't know who would actually say no to free money, but if you're not contributing to a 401k and maximizing the match that your company is offering, you're doing it right now. The way a match works is, say your company offered a 3% match, dollar for dollar. That means, let's just say again, for easy numbers, if you make $100,000 a year, 3% of that is $3,000. So you're gonna take $3,000 spread out throughout your year, and you're gonna contribute that into this 401k. The company is gonna say, well, you contributed 3% of your income, we're gonna match that, and we're gonna give you $3,000 more dollars. So now your investment of $3,000 just doubled instantly. You literally got a 100% guarantee return on your investment by taking advantage of a company match. There's nowhere else in investing where you're going to get a guaranteed 100% increase from day one. So definitely take advantage of a company match. I guarantee you will not regret it. Now, not every company matches dollar for dollar. Some of them are a little bit more confusing, like say they might say, we'll contribute 50% up to your first 4%. So what does that mean? Well, the up to part means how much you as the employee have to contribute. So if you as the employee contribute 4% of your income, the company will contribute 50% of that amount. So 50% of 4%, half of 4% is 2%. So in this scenario, they're saying if you contribute 4%, we'll give you 2%. So you'll still end up with a total of 6%, but you had to contribute 4, they only contributed 2. As in the previous dollar for dollar example, if you contributed 3%, they'll give 3%. So it depends on the scenarios. If you have a 401k match thing that's not dollar for dollar, a little confusing, and you're not exactly sure how it works, throw that in the comments. I'd be happy to help out because I really enjoy talking about this stuff. I definitely want to help you max out your match so that you're not leaving any free money on the table. Now, is everything about a 401k all rainbows and unicorns? No, there are some cons, so let's talk about some of those. One of the biggest cons is going to be selection. As opposed to the entire stock market of all index funds and mutual funds and stocks and everything that you could possibly invest in, 401k options are dependent upon your company. But regardless of whether your options are good or bad, the ultimate issue is that you don't have control over it. It's whatever your company already has available to you. But because of a company match, oftentimes even a poor 401k option that might have a higher fee than you would prefer, the company match offsets it where it still makes sense to use the 401k up to your company's match. And if your company doesn't have a great selection, then after you've taken advantage of your company match, then I would start putting money into a Roth IRA outside of your company. And in addition to not being able to control what accounts you invest in because you can only choose from the selections that the company is offering you, the other issue is access to the money. When you put money into a 401k, you're locking that money up until the age of 59 and a half, when you can start to withdraw it without penalty and, depending on whether or not it's a Roth or an IRA, without paying taxes. Now, there are some exceptions. There is something called the Rule of 55, which would allow you to start withdrawing money out of your 401k account at the age of 55, but that is also contingent on some details. If you are between the ages of 55 and 59 and a half, and you get laid off or for some other reason leave your place of employment, you can get access to the 401k funds from that employer specifically at age 55 if you're already age 55. If you're younger than age 55, this does not apply, and also you can't get access to 401k funds from any former employers that you've left those places of work and you've come to this current job. So any other 401k plans that you've gotten over the years, that if you haven't rolled them over into this current 401k with your current employer, then you can't use that money as part of this Rule of 55. So if you have any other questions about the Rule of 55, go ahead and put it in the comments. Just know that you can technically get access to 401k funds as early as age 55, but there are some specific rules surrounding that. And when we're talking about access to your money, I can't avoid talking about a 401k loan. I don't recommend ever using a 401k loan, mainly because if you have a traditional 401k and you took a tax advantage by deferring that money, then you take the loan out, well guess what? You have to pay back the loan with after-tax dollars. So you just negated the tax benefit part of using the 401k. Also, if you for any reason left your current employer while you had a loan against your 401k, that money now has to be paid back sooner than it would have normally if you stayed working for the employer. So now you have to try to come up with money that you didn't have because you took out the loan to pay for something. So now you have to pay it back, or it will simply be counted as a distribution. But if it's counted as a distribution, then you have to pay taxes and penalties on that loan amount. So it's just better to leave the money that you set aside for retirement, leave it for retirement. Don't withdraw it in order to pay for emergencies, and that's a whole different account, a whole separate video talking about emergency funds and insurance to protect your wealth, but just know that a 401k loan is not a good idea. Now we've talked about the tax benefits, the employer match, some of the pros and cons of having a 401k investment option in your retirement plan, but we haven't talked yet about the actual investments within the 401k for how you build wealth. But I want you to understand that you can accomplish your retirement long-term goals primarily through utilizing index funds. Index funds are already diversified investment accounts, and they come with exceptionally low fees compared to other options. Again, if you have more questions about index funds, you can throw it in the comments or you can check out my other videos. But either way, you're going to want to definitely take a diversified investment approach, and you're going to want to probably be a little bit more aggressive while you're younger. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you are younger and you want to have a truly hands-off approach to your retirement all the way through, then getting an indexed target date fund is definitely a great way to go, because it's going to reallocate your assets all throughout your retirement growth stage. So what I mean is you're going to have more money in stocks, which is a little bit more aggressive, and less money in bonds, which tends to be a little bit more conservative. And as you get closer to your retirement age, that allocation is going to have less in stocks and more in bonds. And it's going to automatically change those within the account, basically kind of making your retirement risk profile a little bit more conservative as you get closer to retirement. You can do that on your own, but if you set up the target date fund in an indexed fund, then you don't even have to worry about it. You basically just continue to contribute every year, all the way between now and retirement, and you don't have to really bother with changing anything. The target date funds take care of it for you. Again, any further questions on that, put it in the comments as well. And some statistics here. This says the number of Fidelity 401k plans with a balance of 1 million or more jumped to a high of 365,000 in the first quarter of 2021. So the number of IRA millionaires increased to 307,600, which is also an all-time high. This is a lot of people that are getting to millionaire status by using the 401k as a wealth building tool. Another quote from that article says, "These are people making it a goal to do as much as possible with these retirement accounts. It's not something that happens overnight. It's an example of staying the course and taking a long-term approach." So again, these 401k investments, they're not something that's going to get you rich next week, but it's something that's going to get you to that wealth status, that millionaire status, so that you can retire in style. Again, going back to that Ramsey Solutions study of 10,000 millionaires, they found that on average it took 28 years of consistent investing in order to reach that millionaire status, but they also found that most people reach that millionaire status by the age of 49. Again, a 401k might not be the flashiest method of building wealth and becoming a retired multimillionaire, but it is a proven method that has worked for many people, and it can work for you too. And I know you already did, but for those that haven't, go ahead and smash that like button. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for more personal finance information, investments, and retirement information. Find your path to financial freedom